Oh yeah.
Hey guys, Happy New Year, welcome back to another Brew Bros video. First video of the year, 2021. Looking forward to a good year, a better year than last year, touch wood. Today we are going to brew an American Pale Ale. It's one that we've brewed before and it was very successful, I was really happy with it. And we thought we'd do it again, but this time we're going to change the hop profile slightly. I had a few leftover hops, primarily Perle and, no sorry, not Perle, Simcoe and Citra, left over from a previous brew, so we're going to use them and see if we can increase the hoppage on this one. Mostly we're looking to improve the aroma, so we're going to be putting them in boil out and at the dry hop stage when it's fermenting, so it should be interesting. It's the first brew with the new 20-gallon SS Brewtech mash tun, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out. It's also the first brew with the Blichmann Therminator, so looking forward to using that. It's a 40-litre batch today, so we've currently got 60 litres in the HLT, waiting for that to get up to a strike temperature of 70.5, and then we're good to go. So the strike water now is 69 degrees, getting there very slowly. 2.4 kilowatt elements are doing their job down there. Got a little bit of a whirlpool going on as well, just to get a nice even temperature throughout the water, no hot spots, etc. I think someone commented last time asking what our sort of pump setup and at what point do we take the temperature. Well, I should tell you, water comes out of the HLT here and transferred down here through into the Blichmann riptide, goes into the riptide, then we've got a little temperature probe in there, a little T-fitting here, and then it comes back in here to whirlpool back into the top of the pot and spins around in an anti-clockwise motion. The probe goes around to the back of that and then into the back of the ink bird there. So getting there, a couple more minutes hopefully we'll be there. That's 8 kilos of grain and a brand new mash tun ready to go. Looking good, looking good. So we were 60 somewhere up there, so let's drop down a little bit. We want to get down to around about there. .20 minutes left to go of the mash now. Our steady temperature. We wanted a mash temperature of 64.5, and we're at 64.7, so pretty much perfect. Very, very happy with that. Remained pretty consistent throughout the entire boil, the entire mash. So very pleased. Good news. So we've reached the end of the 60-minute mash. We're now in the Mashout phase. So I'm going to ramp the temperature up to 75 degrees centigrade. I'm going to keep it there for 10 minutes. After that's done, it's time to transfer over to the boil kettle for the boil. So we're at 70.7, 70.8 degrees. I probably won't show on camera, it normally goes all wavy. 71, nearly there. Want to get to 75 for the mash out. It's looking decent, smells amazing. Happy with it so far. Like I mentioned earlier on, once I've got some hose coming, once that arrives I'll be able to get a better whirlpool going on, but I've run out of hose at the moment with the new setup. Really happy with the new mash tun as well. See with the Herm setup, it's got the elements in there which can indirectly heat the temperature of the wort and the mash tun. and they barely needed to come on because it's held its insulation so well, so really, really pleased with it. That's the end of the mash out. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, we haven't got a boiler at the moment, a boil kettle, so while we're using the HLT as a boiler as well. So I'm going to have to transfer the water that we've got left in there into a separate kettle, this little spare that we started out with, which I always keep on standby. It's quite handy in times like these. So I'm going to transfer as much as I can into there, and then I can use that as my sparge water, and then I can transfer that into the what will be the boil kettle. So let's go. Should keep Tim happy. He's been keeping on at me to do another brew day video. It's been a while since the last one. It's been difficult with social distancing, all that kind of stuff, all the rules and legislation in place. Hopefully this will keep him happy. He's quite happy at the moment anyway. He's officially the baldest man in the southwest of England, so he's very proud of that. It's a proud day for the whole family, really. Couldn't be happier for him. So we're ready to go. So the HLT / boil kettle, completely empty now. All the water's gone into there and into the bucket ready for cleaning up at the end. We've now got a load of liquid, obviously the wort in there with the grains still. So in theory, what we're hoping to do now is to drain the wort from the mash tun. It's going to get down through the pump, up into the top of the kettle and fill the kettle. Simultaneously, while that's happening, we want the sparge water from here. I want to drain that into the top, and I want to keep an inch or two maybe on top of the actual grain bed. I'll grab the camera in a minute to do a close-up of that while it's happening, hopefully, all being well. So let's go. Got the recirc manifold on the way as well, which will replace this. Again, homemade, quite obviously. Once that arrives, I can obviously sit on top of the grain bed, which will be really beneficial. You can see it's just disturbing the grain bed a little bit too much there for my liking. I've turned it right down pretty much as far as I can. You can see the grain bed's moving a little bit, which is what you'd expect, but once I've got the manifold, it can sit right on top of the grain bed. Here we are, it's filling up nicely now. Looking good, lovely clear wort there. Pretty much done from that, I think. Where are we? 45 litres. Boil's starting to break through. You can see here directly above an element, and there also directly above an element. You can see it's just about to start breaking through, so should be minutes away. In the meantime, got the hop filter ready to go. Pop that in there, ready for the hops. Got a very nice creamy head on it, as you can see. So the yeast is ready off the stir plate. Homemade, you might have guessed. Made out of parts from eBay. So we're looking for 329 billion yeast cells in there. It's a 1044 OG beer, this one, and it's a 20-gallon batch. So I'm going to get the microscope out in a minute and just count those cells. I'm expecting about 400 billion in there, and we need 329, so should hopefully have a little bit left over for a future brew. So we're 15 minutes from the end of the boil. It's got 2 Protafloc tablets to add. 1, 2. So like doing all this one-handed. Press lock in, 1, 2. Also what we're going to do now, I've got the Therminator all plumbed up, ready to go. So I've got it coming out of the kettle, into the pump, out of the pump, into the Therminator, out of the Therminator, and you might notice I've just repositioned the temperature probe there so I can get an idea of, because it's the first time I've used it, I just want to make sure it doesn't get too, it's not too hot or too cold going into the fermenter, so I can get a reading there. And then at the moment I've got it going back into the kettle. So it's going to recirculate for the first minute maybe, just to see what kind of temperature we're getting. If it is cold enough, then I'll transfer that straight into the fermenter. And then we've got the water coming in, and then water going out into a bucket. Don't trust the bucket in the side because it's likely to go wrong. It's the kind of thing I might kick over. Right, it's the 10-minute mark. I've added 14 grams of Perle. This is just a little bit of yeast nutrient, 1 teaspoon. There we go. From this point onwards, I wouldn't put anything else into the kettle. It's 10 minutes to go. I wouldn't put anything else into or let anything come into contact with the wort, which hasn't been sanitised. So we're right at the end of the boil now. It's been a 60-minute boil. 3 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Turn the elements off. These are the flame out hop additions. There's quite a lot in there, you can see. It's going to be a hell of a test for the Blichmann Therminator. So the Therminator is on. It's official, here we go. Not much to look at. You can see the steam coming out of the bucket. Or I can anyway, I don't know if you can. Look at the temperature already, 44, 43, I don't know if you can see that, 42, 41 degrees. And because it's so cold outside, it's about 2 degrees outside at the moment. I think I'm going to transfer that so it goes pretty much straight into the fermenter. At the moment, as I mentioned previously, it's recirculating. Really happy with that though, working amazingly well. So slight reconfiguration, we've now got it coming out of the kettle, into the pump, into the Therminator, out the Therminator, and then into the bottom of the fermenter. So in a minute, it's very cold out here, so it's actually a lot colder than that. You can see it's going down quite rapidly because I've only just plugged that in. So we should get an idea of what temperature the wort is as it goes in. As soon as it gets above there, obviously. Right, so all the wort's in the fermenter. We've got a reading of 15.2, so I think I actually underestimated the power of the Therminator. But that's alright, still within the range of the yeast, but I'm just going to have to let it warm up a little bit. Let's take a look inside. There it is. We ended up pretty much bang on 40 litres, which is exactly what we wanted. So now all that remains is to put the yeast in. And I think I said we needed 292 billion cells, was it? Sorry, 329 billion cells. We ended up with 400, so I had to take some out. So it's all nicely sanitised. In it goes. Turn it into beer. Oh, it spills a bit. There we go. So just taking a gravity reading using my refractometer, and we've got about 11.8 bricks, which equates to about 1048. So slightly higher OG than I was looking for, which isn't a bad thing. Very happy with that. Well, that's it. The end of the brew day. Really happy with how it's all gone. Really happy with the 2 new bits of equipment we've got, which I'll mention. The Blichmann Therminator performed impeccably. Really happy with it. It probably even performed a little bit too well for today because I wasn't expecting it to cool it down as quickly as it did. like I think I mentioned, I was told that it could do 10 gallons of boiling wort down to pitching temperature in 5 minutes. And for some reason I just didn't believe that, it seemed too good to be true. But it can. So I think what I'll do next time, I'm going to get it down to pitching temperature in the boil kettle. So I'll keep recirculating into the boil kettle until I've got it to maybe 22, 23. And then at that point I'll switch it to the fermenter. That's the plan for the next brew anyway. So yeah, really pleased with that. The mash tun as well, unbelievable, so good. Really held that, held the heat. It didn't really require the elements in the Herm system to come on much at all. So really happy with it. One thing I did notice with the mash tun, I'm going to warm it up next time. It was really cold, and because it's so cold and insulated, it kept that heat. So it really, when I put the strike water in there, it lost a lot, and I've never really sort of adjusted the temperature loss based on equipment. So it's something I'm going to have to look at in the future, and I'll look to get it nice and warm next time before I transfer the strike water over. But yeah, again, really happy with that. So that's it, end of the brew day. It's been a long freezing cold day, but really happy with how it's all gone. A lot of learning points, but I'm tired and cold, so I'm going to go inside and warm up with a beer. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, all that kind of crap that Tim probably wants me to say. Yeah, look after yourselves. Stay classy.